is this sacred? How is this used? Nobody asks other religions to document as much as we have to document. It's sad, it hurts. We were here. Our ancestors are lying out there in the desert, and yet we have to document? No, we can't let these non-Indian people tell us what's important to us, what's important in our hearts. No, we tell them what's important in our hearts.
Emotions got to a fevered pitch at Monday's local meeting of the California State Native American Heritage Commission. That's when local tribal leaders expressed their dismay over alleged desecration of sacred Indian tribal lands in San Diego's desert area by alternative energy developer Pattern Energy.
Does economics trump justice in this country? I believe it does. And that profoundly saddens me. I cannot understand, we cannot understand, how federal and state institutions who have trusted fiduciary responsibilities to Native Americans allow the utter destruction of arguably the richest cultural resource in our country in Ocotillo Valley. How the laws and policies have been passed so that this kind of utter destruction cannot happen. More importantly, what can we do together so that this cannot happen again?
The Ocotillo Valley has long been a unique place of culture and spiritual importance to the Quechan people. The mountains rising from the valley, such as Coyote Mountain, are held sacred in our creation stories, songs, oral traditions. Prehistoric trails used for travel and spiritual purposes by our ancestors are found throughout the valley. Hundreds of culturally significant sites and thousands of individual artifacts have been discovered throughout this land. These sites and artifacts tell the story of our people. They belong to our ancestors and should remain in the land. The land of the valley are sacred to our people because they hold the graves and the cremation sites of Quechan ancestors. Tribal elders refer to this area as the Valley of Death.
At issue is Pattern Energy's giant wind turbine farm constructed in Ocotillo, California, also known as the Kumeyaay Indian Sacred Ancestral Burial Grounds, referred to as the Valley of the Dead. The San Francisco-based energy company began constructing its 112-turbine, 265-megawatt power project feeding into the San Diego Gas and Electric Sunrise Powerlink system last December. The Native American tribes and local residents affected by the wind turbine project say their concerns were ignored by the Bureau of Land Management, the guardian of U.S. federal lands, during the permitting process. Pattern Energy's local representative said to the commission that it has complied and exceeded all federal rules and regulations. She said that it has also employed archaeologists to make sure the project does not violate sacred Native American burial grounds.
This project went to great lengths to avoid direct impact to cultural resources. After pre-construction surveys, we eliminated 38 turbines to avoid direct impacts to cultural resources, and we redesigned the project to be at least 650 feet away from any known cremation sites. During the permitting process, the concerns were expressed to us about the view sheds from the Bldg to the Coyote Mountains. At that point, we chose to eliminate an additional 43 turbines to protect the view shed from the Bldg towards Coyote Mountains, plus another view shed from another small geoglyph towards Mount Signal. During the permitting of this process, we also conducted a buried site sensitivity analysis, which determined that the project area was a low risk for buried archaeological sites. We dug 208 test pits at 51 turbine locations, and nothing was found in any of those test pits subsurface other than one quartz lake and one turbine site. We had Native American monitors present every day during ground disturbing activities during construction. We did find some inadvertent discoveries, and we implemented our inadvertent discovery plan, which is part of the MOA, and relocated an additional 37 turbines and project facilities.
Several Native American tribes also testified that it wants the wind turbines to be dismantled due to environmental concerns. They agreed that future alternative energy projects being developed on tribal lands must include more active participation in the projects and better communication.
There also has to be that mutual respect between not only Native American aspects, but stakeholders in the community. You heard from people from Ocotillo here today. So I think that part has to really resonate and come up to any other solar projects that are going on. Don't overlook the cultural sides, don't overlook the people in the communities that you're coming in to do business in. I mean, we have to make sure that their voice is being heard. As far as this project, I think you heard it straight from the elders, from different people in the tribal communities. They're conducting cremations. Cremations are still being done. So we have to make sure that mutual respect is there. So when burial sites are found, cremations or bones, that it's the Indian people that are actually touching those remains and putting them back into the dirt. So there's still a lot of things that have to happen. And this is just the tipping of the iceberg. When you have DRECP coming forward, you have all these different renewable projects coming forward. This is just the tipping of the iceberg of what it is that we're going to have to be in store for. But it starts with mutual respect of understanding of all those involved. And if you get people to the table to really understand that, then you're going to be able to see these projects start to move forward in a different light.
Well, what we want to happen, I don't know if that's feasible or not, and that was to have all the turbines dismantled. But I don't really think that's going to happen. But I think the most important thing is how can we all really work together in looking at all the flaws and how this came to be. How can a sacred site like this be trampled on so much when, like in my testimony, when there's laws, there's policies, there's state and federal government institutions that were actually set up with fiduciary responsibility to protect our sacred sites, and it didn't happen.
East County Magazine sought a direct statement from Pattern Energy regarding the Ocotillo tribe's allegations made at the hearing, but did not receive a response. In downtown San Diego, I'm Paul Cruz, East County Magazine.